There's a reason no one listens to you, a reason people talk over you, ignore your opinions, and take what they want from you. They can smell it. The softness, the hesitation, the fear. Weakness has a scent. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He warned that the man who tries to be good in all things will be destroyed by those who are not. Yet men today still believe that being nice will save them. They think if they keep their head down and smile, the world will reward them. But the world doesn't reward the gentle, it rewards the bold. It rewards the man who can't be pushed, who won't beg, who doesn't flinch. This isn't about becoming cruel for no reason. It's about building a presence that commands respect before you open your mouth. Because if you don't learn to project strength, you'll live your entire life under someone else's shadow. Machiavelli's advice is brutal, but it's true. Stop being harmless or be crushed by men who aren't. They told you to be a good man, to play by the rules, to never offend, to always put others first. You believed them, and you paid for it. Machiavelli would laugh at this modern fantasy. He lived in a world of poison, daggers, and betrayals, and he understood a timeless truth. Morality is only admired when it costs you nothing. The moment goodness requires strength or sacrifice, people abandon it. Those who preach it the loudest are usually the first to betray it. Society praises good men only because they're easy to control. They are predictable, compliant, and harmless. When someone calls you such a good man, what they really mean is, you won't resist when I take what's yours. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on virtue alone. A prince who tries to be loved by everyone loses his throne. Why? Because when hard decisions must be made, the good man hesitates, and hesitation is fatal. In politics, business, and even personal life, power rewards decisiveness, not goodness. Look around you. Who advances in the modern world? Not the man who follows every rule, not the man who sacrifices for everyone. It's the man who understands when to be kind and when to be cold. Machiavelli called this practical virtue, the ability to appear moral when it benefits you, but to abandon morality when it threatens your survival. The lie of modern morality is simple. They told you being good would protect you. In truth, it marks you as prey. A man who never says no, who never refuses, who never fights back, is not respected. He is quietly despised, and worse, he's exploited. History proves this. Good kings were overthrown by ruthless rivals. Generals who showed mercy to enemies often faced betrayal. Even in business, CEOs who tried to be everyone's friend ended up being devoured by competitors. Machiavelli admired those who understood balance, men who could wear the mask of virtue while holding the sword of power.
The modern man must learn the same. You cannot live by pure ideals in a world full of predators if you cling to your goodness. As if it's sacred, you will be drained dry by people who see it as weakness. This is why Machiavelli said, a prince must learn how not to be good, not evil, not cruel, just willing to do what is necessary even when it looks harsh. The lesson is simple. Stop trying to be universally loved. It is impossible, and in the attempt, you will destroy yourself. Start learning when to say no, when to turn cold, and when to put your interests above all others. This is not selfishness, it's survival. Good men are pawns. Strategic men are kings. Machiavelli's advice is not to throw away your humanity, but to stop letting it become a leash around your neck. Niceness is not a virtue, it's a disguise for weakness, and the world can smell it on you like blood in the water. Machiavelli never trusted kind men. In his view, men acted out of fear, ambition, and self-interest, not out of gratitude. When you're nice, people don't love you, they use you. And when your usefulness ends, they throw you aside without a second thought. This is why Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous." He wasn't insulting humanity, he was describing it. A man who expects loyalty in exchange for kindness will be betrayed the moment betrayal becomes profitable. A man who thinks generosity buys love will discover that people will take everything he gives and then demand more. Being agreeable makes you predictable. Predictable men are easy to control. When you always say yes, when you always forgive, when you always put others first, you tell the world exactly how to exploit you. People learn your weak spots and press on them until you break. In politics, a nice ruler is overthrown. In business, a nice competitor is crushed. In personal life, a nice man is taken for granted by friends, by lovers, by everyone. Niceness does not inspire respect, it inspires contempt. Machiavelli argued that fear is more reliable than love. Love fades when circumstances change. Fear lasts as long as you have the will to enforce it. This doesn't mean becoming cruel for cruelty's sake. It means becoming someone who cannot be manipulated, someone who can say no without apology, someone who commands respect, even from those who dislike him. The nice guy thinks playing fair will protect him. But life isn't fair, and those who win understand this. They lie when they must. They refuse when they must. They strike first when danger threatens. They do not let moral hesitation blind them to reality. Niceness is dangerous because it teaches you to value approval more than power. You start craving validation, and once people know you need it, they own you. They'll dangle compliments like bait while robbing you blind. Machiavelli's world was full of poison, assassinations, and double-dealing. Yet his lessons apply even now. The betrayal may not come with daggers, but it will come in the form of a coworker taking credit for your work, a partner exploiting your patience, or a rival using your honesty against you. The cure?
Stop trying to please everyone. Stop giving yourself away for free. Stop mistaking compliance for kindness. Niccolo Machiavelli would tell you, be calm, be strategic, and be ready to act without hesitation. Appear pleasant when it serves you, but never be afraid to show your teeth. The man who is respected will always be safer than the man who is merely nice. Machiavelli never told men to become monsters. He told them to become strategists. The most dangerous man isn't loud or cruel. He's calm, calculating, and untouchable. Power doesn't come from anger. It comes from control. Cold power begins with understanding appearances. Machiavelli advised rulers to look virtuous even when they must act without virtue. Why? Because people judge what they see, not what is true. A man who can smile while saying no, who can seem generous while protecting his own interests, gains influence without inviting suspicion. This is not hypocrisy. This is survival. You don't show every card in your hand. You don't reveal your anger, your fear, or your ambition. You train yourself to appear steady, even when you're making hard, ruthless decisions. The first step? Master your emotions. If people can provoke you, they can control you. The man who reacts out of anger or guilt is a puppet. Machiavelli admired leaders who stayed cold even in chaos, because cold men make clear decisions while others panic. The second step? Control your generosity. Give strategically, never impulsively. A favor should buy loyalty, not sympathy. Reward those who are useful. Withdraw from those who waste your time. This isn't cruelty, it's discipline. The third step, protect your autonomy at all costs. The more you depend on others for approval, money, or status, the weaker you become. Machiavelli warned rulers never to put themselves in someone else's power. In modern life, this means building your skills, your finances, and your network so no single person can control you. Cold power is also about saying no without fear. Weak men believe they must explain themselves every time they refuse. Powerful men know
that silence is often more intimidating than excuses. Your no doesn't need to be justified. It needs to be firm. Finally, you must learn to balance fear and respect. Machiavelli didn't tell rulers to terrorize everyone. He told them to ensure no one dared to cross them. When people know you won't tolerate betrayal, they think twice before testing you. When they know your kindness is measured and deliberate, they value it more. This is how cold power works. You appear calm, polite, even agreeable. You never act out of desperation or emotion. You reward loyalty, but punish betrayal swiftly and quietly. You depend on no one completely. The result? People respect you, even if they never fully understand you. They may even fear disappointing you, and that is far more reliable than their love. Machiavelli's advice for modern men is clear. Be useful to others, but never let them forget you don't need them. Become the man who, pleasant when it serves him, cold when it protects him, and dangerous when it's necessary. Machiavelli warned that reputation is power, and once you lose control of it, you lose everything. Weak men believe their actions speak for themselves.
They think being honest or hardworking will automatically earn respect, but the world doesn't see your intentions. It only sees the story being told about you, and if you don't shape that story, someone else will. Machiavelli understood that appearance often matters more than truth. He advised rulers to seem merciful, faithful, and generous, even when they had to act with cold calculation. Why? Because people judge with their eyes, not their hearts. They rarely look deeper than the surface. In modern life, this means you must decide in advance how you want to be perceived. Are you the man who's calm under pressure? The man who's always one step ahead? The man who can't be manipulated? Once you choose, you must consistently project that image in your words, your actions, your style, even your body language. If you don't, you'll be defined by others' rumors, lies, or misunderstandings will create an image for you, and you'll waste your life fighting it. Machiavelli would never allow that. He believed a wise man manages perception as carefully as a king guards his castle. This doesn't mean being fake. It means being deliberate. You show strength even when you're uncertain. You project composure even when you're angry. You make your victories look effortless and your losses invisible. You choose when to be seen and when to disappear. Control your image and people will treat you as you decide. Lose control of it and they'll treat you as they please. In the game of power, your reputation is your armor and your weapon. Machiavelli understood that men who cannot master their emotions are slaves, not to others, but to themselves, and slaves cannot hold power. Weak men think showing every feeling makes them authentic. They wear their fear, anger, and sadness openly, thinking the world will respect their honesty. The world does not. It punishes them for it. The man who cannot control his emotions is predictable. Push him a little, and he explodes in rage. Threaten him, and he panics. Shame him, and he collapses. Once people know which buttons to press, they'll press them forever. Machiavelli's advice was clear. A ruler must learn to feel everything, but reveal nothing. This does not mean becoming numb. It means using emotion as a tool rather than letting it use you. Anger can intimidate if deployed sparingly. Coldness can unsettle rivals if held longer than they expect. Even kindness, when strategic, can disarm an enemy long enough for you to act. Think of your emotions like weapons in an armory. You don't walk around swinging a sword at random. You keep it sheathed until the right moment, and then you strike with precision. In modern life, this skill is rare. Most men are emotional reactors. They lash out on impulse, beg when desperate, or show fear the moment pressure rises. Machiavelli would say such men make themselves easy prey.
True strength is the man who can feel fury without showing it, who can suffer without appearing weak, who can be underestimated until it's too late. How do you build this? Start by observing your triggers. Notice what makes you angry, insecure, or afraid. Once you see the pattern, you can break it. If someone insults you, stay calm and silent. Watch them grow uneasy when you don't give the reaction they expect. If someone pressures you to explain yourself, give them nothing but an unreadable smile. When you choose your moment to respond, your control itself becomes terrifying. Machiavelli praised leaders who could project emotions on command. When they needed to appear merciful, they looked merciful. When they needed to appear furious, they let their wrath terrify even loyal men.
But behind the mask, they felt nothing uncontrolled. You can do the same in business. Show calm when competitors panic, and they'll start thinking you know something they don't. In personal life, maintain composure during arguments, and people will realize they can't manipulate you. In politics, appearing firm and unshaken makes others rally to you, even if you're secretly uncertain. The man who masters emotion doesn't kill his humanity, he turns it into a weapon. He doesn't cry in public, but he can use sadness to gain sympathy if needed. He doesn't rage impulsively, but he can unleash fury strategically to make enemies retreat. He doesn't become ice. He becomes fire hidden under ice, waiting for the right spark. Machiavelli would call this virtue, strength of character combined with strategic intelligence. It is not coldness for its own sake, it is control. And control in a cruel world is the difference between being used and being feared. Stop wearing your heart on your sleeve. Put it behind armor. Feel everything, but reveal only what serves you. When your emotions stop betraying you, they start serving you. Machiavelli never wrote for the virtuous. He wrote for the men who were tired of losing. In The Prince, he strips away illusions about morality, loyalty, and kindness, and shows how power really works. Those lessons haven't aged a day. The world still rewards men who are prepared, disciplined, and dangerous, and crushes those who are soft, predictable, and desperate for approval. If you've made it through everything so far, you know Machiavelli's advice is not about becoming evil. It's about refusing to be weak. A man who stops begging for permission, who commands respect rather than love, who controls his emotions, his image, and his silence, that man cannot be manipulated. That man becomes untouchable. Let's break this into a code, not theory, but action. 1. Stop chasing approval. Men who crave applause are easy to control. If someone can give you validation, they can take it away. The moment you stop needing it, you become immune to manipulation. 2. Choose respect over love. Love is fickle. People love you when you're useful and turn on you when you're not. Respect lasts longer because it's built on strength and fear of consequences. Machiavelli said, "It's safer to be feared than loved because fear is under your control. Love is not." 3. Master your emotions. Feel everything, but show only what serves your purpose. A man who explodes in anger or crumbles in shame is a puppet waiting for someone to pull the strings. Learn to deploy your emotions like weapons, precision strikes, never wild swings. The truth doesn't matter, perception does. Decide in advance how you will be seen and project it relentlessly. If you don't, others will define you on their terms, and you'll spend your life fighting their version of you.
5. Weaponize your silence. Stop filling the air with nervous words. Every unnecessary explanation is a leak in your armor. The less you say, the less others can use against you. And when you finally speak, people listen. Be useful, never harmless. Harmless men are ignored. Useful men are protected. Dangerous men are obeyed. Your value should be undeniable and your strength unquestionable. 7. Stay unpredictable. Predictability is death in politics, war, and life. If people can anticipate your moves, they can trap you. Keep them guessing. Keep them off balance. 8. Win first, explain later. The world forgives victory. People overlook flaws, mistakes, even crimes, as long as you win. Moral lectures are only delivered to the losers. This is the Machiavellian code. It is not comfortable. It demands discipline, patience, and the willingness to step outside the lies society tells men. Be nice, be humble, play fair. Those rules were written by people who want to control you. Machiavelli burned those rules 5 centuries ago. History proves it. Every man who ever rose from nothing to everything followed this path, whether he read The Prince or not. They understood human nature is selfish, power is fragile, and only strength commands loyalty. The setting changes: Florence, Rome, Wall Street, Silicon Valley. But the game is the same. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be respected. And respect does not come from being good. It comes from being strong. So take these lessons, use them, build a life no one can threaten. Make your words scarce, your moves calculated, and your reputation sharp as steel.